Morning. What's the date? Hang on. 6th of March. Thursday, the 6th of March. So, where are we up to? Been feeding, just fed up this morning. Brendan bought the mob of single bearing ewes over from the other farm for shearing on Saturday. Tony's been working on a little engine that we use out, a little diesel engine. It had a bit of a hiccup, but we've got it going again, so he's had that back out to pump water up to the tank out the back. I've been just running around doing a bit of in-between stuff. So we had a reasonable day yesterday, got all that welded out eventually, so you can start and get a bit of a picture how it's taking shape. I've got that other frame there, I welded it up yesterday afternoon. I've got one up right there cut, and I've got another one to go on. I'll cut another one to go on the other side, and then I had that welded up for you. I've cut the two plates to brace the axle up. So all I need to do is cut, just cut that plate out on each side for them, and then we can get them on and get the axle hung. So it's come along not too bad. It's pretty warm again today actually. Rain's a bit all over the place. They have sort of gone off it a bit this morning, so we'll just have to see what it does. Typical one of them ones where it's on again, off again, 30mm, 6mm. So we'll see what happens, but if it doesn't, if we haven't got rain Sunday, we'll start and pre-irrigate a bit of country, I think early next week or mid next week. I'd just like to get this a bit closer before we do, so we're going to have to probably follow the water with the air seeder pretty closely because it'll dry out reasonably quickly. So the boys are over at the dairy block just doing a few fire breaks, raking them. I don't know whether I mentioned on the last one, we did a fuel hose on the little Fent, so I've got it going again this morning, replaced it. So one bloke's raking and the other bloke's chasing him with the speed tiller on the big tractor. So got Scoop here, give me a hand just lifting stuff, or I did yesterday anyway. It can probably nearly go out of the road, and I'll get the telehandler in and get this sheet out of the road. We don't need it for a little bit, I don't think. Anyway, we'll get to it and get this other frame tacked on, and whether we probably need to weld stuff out as we go, but anyway, we'll just see. Had a bit of a tidy up here, so I've got reclaimed other set of trestles, which is good. The plates are different. They've got different plates on one side to the other here, so that other side was actually plated all the way along, so we've cut it off, so I'll do them separately rather than marking them and mucking around with them, trying to do two at once. So we'll cut that out and might even clean it up and I'll tack it on, and then we can roll it over and then cut the smaller slot out of the other side. I've got this side tacked up, so this thing tacked up, so that's what it sort of looks like. It's bloody hot in the sun here, so I'm sort of trying to duck and weave a bit. It might be an afternoon job to weld it up, or first thing in the morning. Now what I'm thinking also is with that sheet of plate, I've got that chunk there down that side, so I reckon what I'll do, we're about 1100 from here to the one on the other side. I think I might cut a chunk of plate it will actually butt into the radius there and come out, and that way, just to give, because the natural where the weight's going to be, it's going to want to try and tear that off from the bottom up. So I reckon if we just put a big plate in there like that, that'll sort of help that. And then I don't think, originally I was sort of talking about, I might put a little gusset. I've got that one there, which is a corner off one of them. So there's another, his mate is still on the bit of plate there. So I might even just cut that one off and we can put them up the top, and that'll just spread the stress out a little bit on the top section, and that'll be pretty Mickey Mouse. So just sort of thinking where the hoses will come through from the metering units. So I reckon we'll probably get them through here somewhere. We'll try and keep them away from the axle so they don't get pinched. Yeah, we might have to just put a couple of little carrier arms out here just to carry them. But yeah, that's pretty happy with the way that's come up. The other one is how we keep that pin in, or so I sort of been having a bit of a think about it. I did get some bolts the other day. I don't know what I've done with them now. They're possibly in my ute still. Oh no, here they are. So I did get some 10.9 grade bolts the other day and a drill bit. I think they're 18mm, and I think I do have an 18mm tap there. So I was thinking about chucking it in the lathe and actually boring the end of it and tapping it, and then we could put a bolt in from both ends. I don't know. I think that might be the easiest way to do it. Yeah, I know when we had the other setup before with the casters, like we had to weld that pin in because it kept wanting to walk out. So my only concern is there it busts the, if it wants to walk out, it ends up busting that bolt off and the pin comes out. Worst case scenario, I suppose we just weld it in, because once it's in there, it shouldn't really need to come out. So I'll get this one cut and cleaned up, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do when I tack it on. That's how it's going to sit. So we do have a bit of a gap there, but we might be able to just cut a bit of little slither of stuff to fill in there. Yeah, so I'll just tack that in place. That one just needs pulling down a bit at that end, but that's all right. I've kept it off the radius there so I can get a good weld around it. And then what I'll do is when I'll flip it over and do the other side, and then I've got some 150 by 10 there flat, and I'll run it round that edge and box it in, and then fully weld it. And then the plan is we'll pull the cart from about here. I think is the plan. Yeah, it was a lot simpler. If you've been watching along the last, I looked at a cart. It was my cousin's air cart, and it just where it pulled from down there. It didn't have any mechanism, whereas the Simplicity cart I looked at, it had a pivot point up the top, and then a shaft that came down and it picked up the arms that come across to the axles. Whereas this way, I think it's just a bit neater. And what I might do before I close the bottom in, I might put a couple in there between that just to lock it all together. Yeah, should be okay, I think. We'll see. Did I mention it's hot? Weather can sort of get in the bin. Even if it dropped 5 degrees, it'd be a bit nicer. what we've done. We've got those couple of uprights in there that you would have seen me welding in. So that'll be the back. So the front here this is where we're all attached to. So I've just sort of tried to, because that's where all the pull's going to be, just trying to lock that front and back together just to give it a bit more strength. I've still got a weld around there yet, but I've cut another bit there that I'll drop in there now, and we can weld him on. I've got another bit there on the floor. I did get the other day when I got that steel from Nalinga, I got some 150 by 12. I was thinking it was 10. I think I got it 12 mil to make up the plates for the coulters, which is hiding over there. But we may end up, if we get that far, I may end up just getting them laser cut just to save a bit of time. So yeah, as I said the other day with the welder, come back a step and it works fine. So and yeah, we are starting to pick a bit of shade up here, so I might just get that welded out, get this finished and welded out, and then we can get back in and attack this other thing. I should get that bit of sheet out of the sun, because I'll probably want to cut a bit of that at some point in time, and you would cook an egg on that at the moment. So hot. Yeah, I think we've had a delivery too. I think our canola seed's been delivered. Tony was here, one of the girls from Elders, where we get our merch from. I missed a call from her, and then yeah, you turned up, but Tony went and caught up with us. So yeah, starting to get a bit of that stuff organised for winter cropping as well. So all right, I'll chip away here, get this boxed up and welded out, and then yeah, we'll want to take that over there. Setting this up, I've got a nice sort of valley there, but I've knocked this side in a bit. It was a bit tight. I did it with hammer. I've got this one in a bit tight, so just got a little bottle jack here, and it won't come out. Come back up again. It's better up. I'll actually tack it back here first, and then let it back down again, just to get it even all the way along. Yeah, better. Okie dokie, so we've got all that welded out. I'm just going to lift it up and try and stand it up. That way, the way it will actually hang on the front. Yeah, I couldn't stand it up by hand, it was too heavy. I could roll it that way, but I couldn't stand it the other way. So I'm just going to sling there, we'll get it up, and then I'll hang one of those, where the axle goes, whatever you want to call them. And then we can start and work out how this front bit's going to work to steer it. So you get a bit of an idea of what's going on now, hopefully. Yeah, so now we just need to bring a plate out here, a fixed plate with a hole in it that will, as the pull turns it, essentially those arms go out to the axles and turn the axle. So I'll have a bit of a play here and see what we can work out. That's what we're sort of aiming to do. I'll just tacked a bit of stuff on the top of that pin to stop it from dropping through. sort of left these plates green because I knew we'd have a bit of a play around with them. So just by the photos I took of the other one, that whole centre and the pin centre were, it was slightly off centre. I don't think we're going to be long enough here with these. We might have to cut them and make them longer, which is nothing into the world. But we've got to thread at both ends so we can adjust the toe in if we need to in time. So yeah, I'm just trying to work out whether I start and cut these or just get the magnetic drill. I'll be able to drill a hole in that plate with it there. I've got a magnetic trace base drill that I can clamp to that, and I think that'll just be a 7/8 or an inch hole, something like that. So yeah, I'm just trying to work out what we do here. As far as, I don't want to go and cut that and then it's not right, but I think we'll sort of be able to make it work anyway. If it's not, it's got plenty of clearance when we spin it around. It's just what it's going to be like when we go the other way, but I reckon, we're about 200mm too short with that thing, which is a bit of a pain. I'd like to get that thread back in a bit more. I'm thinking I might try and get a couple of nuts to that thread, whether I take one of them off and take it down to the bolt place, because one's left hand thread and one's right hand thread, so you can, when you turn it, one falls in and they both go the same way, if you understand what I mean. So yeah, but it's going to come together all right. We need to get that down about here somewhere just to clear the bottom of that. Yeah, so I must take a measurement from there to there. So we're down, we're down here somewhere. So we're well clear of it. Yeah, and then that will go underneath there. And what I'll probably do is come down with another plate. So we've got a bolt or pin or whatever we put there, goes through two plates, just gives it a bit more strength. But yeah, still a bit to do. But yeah, it is. Where's the time? Oh, what time it is? Those getting away. The boys are knocked off, so it must be getting pretty late. It's 5:30, so it's about knock off time. I might just drag the old truck back the old truck out of the shed and get the caravan out and then we can, the boys can clean the shearing shed up tomorrow. But yeah, making progress. I probably should be. If you look where the shade is now, I probably should be here welding this up now. But I'll just say I might get up real early in the morning while it's dark and buzz that up, and it's probably only an hour's welding there, not even probably, and then yeah, that plate will still be bloody hot. So no, I can hold my hand on. Oh, not really, just. So yeah, you cook an egg, it might take you a bit, but you probably would cook an egg. Yeah, and again, we'll just cut that out so it goes on there, and that'll be pretty right then. Yeah, pretty happy with that, the way that's come up. And then, yeah, if we can get this gadget sorted out, how this is going to work, I just need to work out how we're going to. I've got a bit of. I do have a bit of. Might have a chunk of 40mm plate here somewhere. It might only be 25. Yeah. I'm about sick of making bushes. But it probably is the best way to do it, to be honest. There is still a bit of that stuff there, so we could just cut. I don't know. It's going to pivot, so it needs to. Whatever we do, we need to probably be able to put grease on it, I think. The other thing we could do is, it's going to have to be pretty rigid, that. I was thinking I've got a welding, what they call a welding category ball. You just cut a big hole and we sort of use them on the drawbars. There's another one there, that's the pull off the mower conditioner, and that was a pull I made up to go on the big vent of the mower conditioner. So yeah, I think I think a plate with a bush is going to be the best, and then a double sort of tongue over the top of it, because that plate that pivots is going to want to be reasonably rigid, I think. Yeah, I'll think about it. I might sleep on it. So anyway, we are getting there. So no, it's starting to come together, starting to look like something, which is good. So righto, hope you enjoyed it. We'll reconvene tomorrow or the next day after that, but yeah, hopefully we'll get a bit of time to get on it tomorrow. So alright, thanks again for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.